Hello and welcome to another episode of Coffee with Don and Yvonne. If you have your coffee, let's take a sip. Cheers, Yvonne. Let's begin. Today's episode, we're going to talk about work and life balance. It's something that's a challenge for a lot of folks for a very long period of time. And we've proposed 3 different questions, and we're going to share how we address these areas. I will confess, sometimes it's still a challenge for me, but it's something I strive to adhere to and implement and then teach others. So number 1 is set clear boundaries. It's sometimes difficult to set clear boundaries, period, especially if you're dealing with high conflict people or you're very driven. And even if your job, it's such a joy and a period of accomplishment that you could do it for 8, 10, 14, 18 hours. But you and I, Yvonne and I, know that's not healthy. So set clear boundaries. Give your work, and this is how I try to set clear boundaries, I'm going to share with you. Give your work your very best. They hired you for a reason, for all your skills, knowledge, talents, and expertise. Give them your very best from 8 to 5. But those 7 to 8 dedicated hours, give it your best. Utilize all your skills. You'll be glad that you did. You'll be recognized for that as well. But when the job's done, the job's done. So at the 5 o'clock period of time, now it's time for you, your self-care. Those are the boundaries you have to set. Maybe you can't get your job done in 8 to 5. You need to work on some other parts we're going to talk about to make sure you can get all that done in the 8 to 5 period of time. We do know downtime sometimes in the weekends to catch up, as long as you aren't sacrificing other priorities, including your health, your relationship, your family, and your friends. You may have to invest a few hours sometimes on the weekends. We understand that. But set clear boundaries. Time block, right? So you need to get certain things done at certain times. You have prime time hours, so I time block. So in the mornings, I have that plan for my day because I plan for a week in advance, right? So time block's very important to set boundaries so you know when you need to start something and when you need to end something. Same way with after hours phone calls. If you're off the clock, you're off the clock. It's time for family, friends, self-care, fitness, your hobbies, your interests, because we are both physical, mental, and emotional beings. So 8 to 5, after that, it's time for you. You've time blocked that time for you and your family and friends. Make dinner, enjoy life, because life is short and you want to enjoy it to its fullest. I believe you should live life with purpose, principles, and passion. And if you're working from 6 a.m. to midnight, I don't think you're enjoying life very much. So learn to set those boundaries. Articulate it with your boss or your employees. If you're owner of a company, let them know, hey, this time is my time. You've blocked that out. You've set boundaries. There's nothing typically so urgent or pressing or life-changing or life-threatening that you can't get things done and set those proper boundaries. So that's just some of my ideas, suggestions. How about you, Yvonne?
Yeah. I would say there's different seasons for things in our work life, and I would say there is a season that I've had the opportunity to be involved with starting companies from the ground up. Usually in that season, it's go, 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 and you are trying to build the company, get traction, sales, marketing, could be business after hours events, those types of things. But I think the key word is it's a season. And so I think it's really important to understand, if you're in that season, what is the expectation? How do you set the now boundary for when you reach that season? I confess, something I have been guilty of is taking too much on in this particular season and not seeing early on, when you hit a certain plateau, when should I hire someone else to take certain things off of me? So I think it's important to reflect, how much can we take as an individual? I think knowing oneself in this is critically important. And I think making your work life that is your past work for you and not against you. So don't carry those things into your future work life. Even if you're at the same company, you want to define, where is your boundary? What tools should you employ to help you with this? I admit I am old school. So I still have my precious Franklin planner, no judgment. But at any rate, I use that every day, and it's a tool that I enjoy. I also have a calendar on my phone, but I like something that I can hold. And I have an office manager. She keeps me on track. Most of hers is online, but she chuckles, and when I'm like, where's my planner? And so it's really important, I think, to know what are the tools that help you to have those key boundaries every day in your work-life balance.
Very good. Thanks, Yvonne. You summarized that very quickly versus my long-winded explanation. The second topic here on work-life balance we have is prioritize self-care. So I confess, and these are kind of lessons for myself, and that I've learned the hard way that I'm going to share with you, and Yvonne's doing the same. I am also very driven, very much a confessed workaholic. I made the mistake in my younger years of working those 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But I'll tell you, if you start a business and you start it from scratch, similar to Yvonne here, it's a lot of hours. And I've started, I helped a couple partners start a business to success from scratch. I've started my own business, about 3 of them, and ran and operated and managed my own business for about 8 years. And when you start out, Yvonne, it takes a lot of work. But the key thing she said, once you get to a certain level, you need to start hiring people. That's one of the mistakes I made. I tried to do it all. I tried to do accounting, sales, marketing, you name it. You can't. You're only one person. Once you get to a level, you need to start hiring talent and surround yourself with wise people. And if you don't, we're talking about prioritizing self-care, you'll burn out quick, all right? You need to eat those 3 meals. You need to prioritize those healthy meals. Some other videos, we'll talk about that maybe in more detail. I like a Mediterranean diet. It's what I use. I try to prioritize that. I need to get back to eating a healthy breakfast. I do believe breakfast is that energy key for the day, to launch the day, to keep you out of that fog, to wake you up, other than a very good cup of coffee. So prioritize that, the breakfast in the morning. Prioritize maybe some early morning time, whether it's stretching, it's exercise. If you're a person of faith, maybe it's prayer or it's meditation. Give a little bit of a self-care before you start that day. And then obviously give your work all that you have in that period of time. But I want to tell you something. If you can do 90 minutes of just hard work of whatever you do, 90-minute bursts, 5-minute, 10-minute break, 90-minute bursts, it's been known by neurologists that you're actually more effective in doing that. Regardless, I do know if you take a break during your lunch, maybe take a walk for 5 minutes, all right? 5 or 10 minutes. What I used to do, trying to get my steps in, and I was in a health challenge, do a couple laps around your office complex. If you have a home office, you can do a couple laps around your house or your neighborhood. Take that break. You'll feel refreshed and ready to start back after lunch. So prioritize that. After work is done, bodies in motion stay in motion. The older you get, things start happening, right? So your bones and your muscles change, your metabolism change. But if you stay in motion, you develop a habit. And that's what I've done, Yvonne does, my son, a lot of my very close friends. We work out 4 to 6 days a week. I don't say you have to be a bodybuilder or Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatever, but just stay in motion. Get maybe on the treadmill a couple times a week. Walk 10 to 20,000 steps. Do that circuit workout. What I like, what I prioritize is a bro split. And what I do is I work different muscle groups. So chest and tris one day, back and bis another day. Maybe it's legs the third day, right? Because I'm giving those muscles a break within those period of times. And then Sunday is typically always a day of rest. So I do work out 4 to 6 days a week. I need to get back to 6 days a week. My son started when he was 15, prioritized it. You would be amazed at the change that he has had by prioritizing that. And he's a full-time student and he works part-time, but he still makes time for exercise. As you get older, that's important. So is the vitamin D3, so is some sun, so is getting some fresh air in the morning, putting your feet on the ground. So prioritize that. You have one life. People talk about YOLO. You only live once. Well, that's true, because you only died once, and you want to take care of that body, that vessel you have, because we're physical, mental, and spiritual beings. Prioritize that. Prioritize your health. You'll be thankful, very thankful, the older you get. So your muscles are strong, your tendons and your bones are strong. So that's kind of how I prioritize it. I block it off as well. I kind of keep track of it. I keep track of my weight, my resting heart rate. I use a Fitbit. I'll probably upgrade to a very nice Garmin eventually, but I track it, I measure it, and I try to improve upon it. You should prioritize that, again, because you only have one life. Make the most of it. And you want to be here for the long term, for those children and those grandchildren and maybe those great-grandchildren.
Yeah, I would say first, the word is self. And I think ladies out there, I think we make a mistake in putting everyone else, family, pets, parents, for me right now in this particular season of life, sometimes they go ahead of me. And I need to remember that self-care starts with the letter S. And that means that I need to, what speaks to me? So that S to me means what is speaking to me personally as a self-care person. So for me, I've defined what's really important in that particular piece. And for me, I enjoy exercise. I think for some individuals, that could be yoga, that could be walking, that could be just sitting in your chair and doing some hand weights. I even confess in my work car, I have this thing that I squeeze that just gets rid of stress. You know, I think it really is knowing oneself, understanding what is important to you. What helps you as a person to de-stress? What does that look like? And I think that really is what that S really speaks for. I would say E is evaluate. Evaluate your mental state. When you really are home from a hard day's work, sometimes, guys, I am telling you, I pull in my garage and I'm like, I can't go to the gym today. You know, I just need to de-stress or, you know, kind of figure out what it is that I need to do at home. So truthfully, I have a little yoga mat, some stretchy bands from COVID, great tools, by the way, and I just pull them out in my basement. And I just try to unwind and relax by doing that. Other times for me, I think it's evaluating where I need to be still. And I think that is a place where I struggle. So from my perspective, running a company, having employees, it's exhausting. And I think sometimes I need to tell myself, my self-care, stop. I need to rest this weekend. Or I need to come home from after work and I don't need to go out. Put on your PJs right away. It's a great key. I would say L is let go. What is it that you need to let go of? What times do you need to let go when you get home? What do you need to let go in your personal life? Again, it's self. Do some self-care on what that might look like. And then I would say the F is forget. It's so important that we choose what comes in and out of our memory and minds. We need to forget some things and table them. For an individual who sometimes wakes up in the middle of the night, I need to forget that pattern. I need to reevaluate what I'm thinking about when I wake up in the middle of the night. Work-wise, write it down, set it aside, try to focus, right? Forget and focus on what it is that you need to do to promote your own self-care.
Very good, Yvonne. I was over here taking notes, so I encourage you to take notes here on this channel, on this program. So that's very good stuff. I like the acronym, how you tied that together. So the third one is manage time effectively. We've kind of inserted that within the first two. Now, I'm a tech geek, all right? Yvonne likes the paper. I have almost everything in the cloud. Very rarely write a check. I think I write a check maybe once a year because they require it, or it's a charity that requires it. So I like utilizing tech to manage my time effectively. I used to manage teams as well. I used to manage sales associates, outside sales techs, anywhere from 6 to 100 different people. So when you're managing that many people, and Yvonne will tell you this, you've got to be a good time manager. And then you want to teach your staff the same thing, because you only have a window to be able to sell and be most effective, right? So you want to do that. Plus you want to make sure your people are healthy. They're not overworking. They're not having burnout. So how I manage time effectively, I utilize technology. So I'm going to mention some names, not that I'm trying to sell it, although I do sell some of these tools, but whether it's G Suite, that's Google's version of Office 365. I maximize that. I maximize the AI of Copilot as well. Google has an AI as well. So I utilize that, and I have shared calendars. So I have a shared calendar with Yvonne and my family, my kids, so they can see the calendar. We can schedule things and plan things in advance so we're not overbooking things. And we're taking care of self-care. But when you purchase these products, G Suite, you purchase Office 365, they are more secure, they're internal, they're not shared out, right? Unless you share it with particular individuals. So I like leveraging technology, but I have a Remarkable Pro. It was quite an investment. I thought, well, what's wrong with my iPad or using my laptop? I like the feel of paper. Just like Yvonne, I like the feel of paper, but I want to save my notes. I like to stay highly organized. This is all in the cloud. I can pull it up, I can index it. I have different templates for different meetings, whether I'm meeting with my specialist, whether I'm meeting with my customer. I can keep it all recorded. I can go back through notes. So I believe in being very organized at work, so you're most efficient and effective. And I utilize a lot of technology to do that. And it's a low cost investment to use a lot of this technology. But whatever it is, whether you use Frankly Covey, that's fine. Whether you use technology, Remarkable Pro, your Office 365, electronic shared calendars, things in the cloud, it's important to prioritize your time and manage your time effectively. Just earlier I said you only have one life, right? Make the most of your time. Time is precious, it's priceless, so manage it effectively so you have the well-balanced life balance here, right? So you can invest time in yourself and self-care. You can invest time with your close loved ones. You can give your employer your best during the time that you're supposed to work and have a more balanced life. So that's kind of how I manage my time effectively.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great points, honey. I would say the thing that really strikes me on this is if you don't manage your time, time will manage you. One way or the other, I think it's important that we understand what are the priorities for the day. Sometimes I just only focus on the day. I think I tend to bite too much off. And so it's important, I think, for me that I pull back, I stop, and I do this every night before the next day. I'm one of these old school folks where I've got my clothes already laid out the night before. Another thing that I like to do to manage time is I meal prep. For instance, if I like oatmeal, I'll make oatmeal on Sundays with my fruits, my nuts, my berries, that kind of thing. I Tupperware it. I can sleep in a little longer instead of getting up and making my breakfast. I'm a 3-meal-a-day girl. I like to eat things in all balance, so I'll take it to work and I'll microwave it, and I'm typically also a desk eater. How I choose to manage my lunch, normally, not always, but I usually will pack my lunch the night before, and I choose to manage my workday time at just eating at my desk or eating with some of my individuals just to check on their workday balance. And an old term I use in counseling is, what is your pulse, right? Check yourself throughout the day. Take a pulse on what's happening in your day. If you feel your day is out of control, been there and done that just last week, don't tell anybody. But at any rate, if you feel that your day is out of balance, what do you need to do to put practices or tools in place that you don't make that mistake in other days? Like I've said, take your work, life, and experience and make it work for you and not against you. What do you need to do? Take a pulse. Check yourself. How is your mental health? Is it possible that maybe you need to schedule a day off in the next couple of weeks? Do you need what they now call a mental health day? Do you need, if people report to you, are you checking on their pulse? Do they need time off? I'll give you an example. This past week, I had so much going on at my company. Every one of my employees was involved in that. This Friday, we are stopping work at 4 and we are having an employee appreciation charcuterie party. So we're choosing, I want to honor the employees for all of their hard work, right? I've checked their pulse. We were all a little frazzled. I have a production manager. He has one of those Garmins and he came up and said, look at this. Look at my stress is off the chart. And I'm like, we need a break, team, but we also need a break. So I think it's important to understand, check your pulse, understand your day, know what's happened in your past weeks, learn from that, and then put those tools into practice.
Outstanding. I'm still taking notes here from Yvonne. Take your pulse every day. I like that. Let's summarize here, okay? Because we can actually have an entire hour program in each one of these. And we may break some out and do that in the future. But what we're talking about is work-life balance, okay? It's something a lot of folks have a challenge with. A lot of folks are driven and work a lot of hours, and relationships suffer, okay? Family suffers, health suffers.
We gotta work.
Physically, mentally, emotionally you can suffer. But we know we have to work for an earnings. But we can be very effective if we focus, we set clear boundaries, we prioritize self-care, which was number 2, and 3, we manage our time effectively. So join us in future programs. But I wanted to summarize that, and I'm going to turn it over here to Yvonne to close us out and summarize her thoughts and perspective.
Yeah, I was just raising my hand teasing, but not really, guys. Something that we like to do at my company is I say, you know what? If somebody in my team come to me and raise your hand and say, I need help. I need help in this area. I think when we're older and we're a little higher up maybe in our work life experience, we forget to raise our hands, guys. Raise your hand. If not, find somebody that is someone you can go to and say, I need to raise my hand. Sometimes I come to him and I'm like, I'm not cooking tonight. I'm raising my hand. Sometimes, guys, you have to find somebody to raise your hand to and ask for help and prioritize that.
Very well said. So in closing, make it a great day, because you truly have a choice in making it a great day. And make sure you subscribe, you like, you comment, you share these videos, and we'll see you next time on Coffee with Don and Yvonne.